Number 5.
Who's bad?
Lou Walker from Holmes. The juvenile prison center, Camp Green Lake, is not a happy place. Every day, the kids are forced to dig holes in the dry, barren lake bed. They are overworked and underrested. There's a massive perpetual heat wave and drought. The desert is full of poisonous wildlife, and the supervisors are corrupt, loaded, and insane. Hell, conditions here are so bad that one kid actually kills himself.
In a Disney movie.
Now let's meet the warden in charge of this hellhole, Warden Lou Walker. While she might seem like a nice lady at first, she has a certain presence about her that commands respect, or else.
Fill everyone's canteen.
I already filled them.
Excuse me?
I had already filled them when you drove up in the car.
Excuse me? Did I ask you when you last filled them?
She doesn't even have to do anything. She can just stare you down and say, "Excuse me," and your mind is silly putty in her hands. And God help you should you waste her time and piss her off.
This is my special nail polish. I make it myself. You want to know my secret ingredient? Rattlesnake venom. So you think he stole your sunflower seeds?
No, I don't. I think he's covering for X-ray or somebody. It was
Now, how evil can she be, you ask? Well, besides the child labor camp, she's hired known criminals to run it, left runaways for dead, and burned their records to avoid a federal investigation, and worst of all, she started Shia LaBeouf's acting career.
That bitch!
Lou Walker. Hell hath no fury like a warden scorned.
Excuse me?
Number 4.
Who's bad?
Professor Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective. By far the most entertaining Disney villain of them all, Ratigan is an evil, psychotic, and murderous megalomaniac, and proud of it. He's constantly full of murderous rage, but it doesn't usually get the better of him. He's typically all smiles and laughter, but you can still feel the anger welling up inside him, just waiting to burst out. So at the end, when he finally snaps and goes on a rampage, you're not necessarily surprised, but damn if it isn't frightening. At the same time, his conniving insanity is why he's such a lovable villain. Like when he sets up a Rube Goldberg death machine to kill his enemy that's triggered by a record of him singing about how much he's going to miss trying to kill him. Though I personally think that his crowning moment of awesome is during his villain song. It goes smoothly enough until a drunk accidentally insults him and brings the song to a full halt. So Ratigan kicks him out, feeds him to his cat while all of his other cohorts watch, and then to top it all off, he forces everybody to finish the song.
As you were singing...
I'll be damned if my villain song gets interrupted. Yeah, my Vincent Price sucks.
Here's to Ratigan, the world's most evil rat.
What was that?
Nothing. Nothing.
Number 3.
Who's bad?
Syndrome from The Incredibles. He was originally a huge fanboy of Mr. Incredible, who wanted nothing more than to be alongside his idol. However, he was ultimately rejected by the man he once idolized, which twisted him into the diabolical supervillain known as Syndrome, his obsession turning into anger toward Mr. Incredible and all other superpowered beings. One thing I like about him is that he's a very atypical supervillain. He's a very self-aware character who knows all about the classical villain tropes, and yet isn't always immune to them.
How do you think I got rich? I invented weapons, and now I have a weapon that only I can defeat. And when I unleash it, I'll get... You sly dog! You got me monologuing! I can't believe it.
He also has absolutely no regard for any human life. Whether it's endangering an entire city, blowing up a jet plane with Mr. Incredible's wife and children on it, or simply calling the famous "I'll kill your sexy assistant" bluff.
It'll be easy, like breaking a toothpick.
Show me.
His evil plan is to set an unstoppable giant robot on the city that only he can defeat, so that he can pass himself off as a superhero. It seems kinda weak until you look at it in the long run.
I'll give them the most spectacular heroics anyone's ever seen! And when I'm old and I've had my fun, I'll sell my inventions so that everyone can be superheroes. Everyone can be super! And when everyone's super... no one will be.
What's even more disturbing is the fact that he tested his robot on a bunch of superheroes to make sure it was unstoppable, killing them all in the process. As such, Syndrome has more confirmed kills than any other Disney villain. And the fact that all of those kills were super-powered beings just makes him even scarier. The Joker, Dr. Doom, Lex Luthor, fucking pussies compared to this guy. Number 2.
Who's bad?
The Horned King from the Black Cauldron. Now, this movie was made back when the PG rating actually meant something. As such, kids were scared shitless whenever they saw this guy.
Myself included.
Whether it was his bony claws, his red, lifeless eyes, or just the general fact that he was the freaking undead, the Horned King was personally giving audiences nightmares since his first appearance. Now, while most Disney villains have a touch of humor in their dialogue, this guy has none. At all. Every word he speaks is dead serious and bone-chilling. I mean, just listen to that voice.
You are the keeper of this oracular pig.
Yes, sir.
Then instruct her to show me the whereabouts of the Black Cauldron.
Oh, sir, I can't. I promised.
Very well. In that case, the pig is no use to me.
Ugh. You do not want to fuck with that guy.
He also had one of the best evil plans ever. Now, while most Disney villains tried to steal riches or take over the city or country or something, the Horned King took it a step further by trying to use the Black Cauldron to take over the world with an army of undead warriors.
That's right. It's a Disney movie about an evil tyrant who's trying to start the zombie apocalypse. Why the hell did this movie bomb?
All this and more is why the Horned King is by far the most badass and absolutely terrifying villain that Disney has ever churned out.
By the way, on the off chance that somebody from Square Enix is watching this video, Horned King Kingdom Hearts 3. Make it happen.
And they say it's time to live, as it made its way through. My friend, you have seen nothing. There's a way to argue, because I'm bad, you know it, you know I'm bad, you know it, you know I'm bad, you know.
And the number one underappreciated Disney villain is Pete.
Yeah, I know what you're all thinking. You mean that stupid fat asshole? What's he ever amounted to? And that question is precisely why he is on this list.
A lot of people tend to forget about him or just plain ignore him, which is a damn shame because he really is a great villain. Originally created as Mickey Mouse's antagonist, Pete was right there with Mickey all the way from the beginning with Steamboat Willie. From then on, he has starred alongside Mickey, Donald, and Goofy as villain in several of their classic cartoons. He's also an interesting villain because you get to see him in a great number of different roles. From an outlaw to a mean business owner to Goofy's asshole neighbor. Hell, he's even tried being a good guy a couple of times, though it doesn't typically work out in his favor.
Wearing the mask of peace and hope comes the fearless defender and hero of this town. It is me, Captain Justice.
The less said about Captain Justice, the better.
Now, he may have just been a standard jerk in most of his cartoons, but occasionally he winds up in a much more devious role. Like in the recent Three Musketeers cartoon, wherein he was the sinister royal captain who was hell-bent on taking over the throne. Or in Kingdom Hearts 2, where he commanded the Heartless and helped Maleficent try to rule over all worlds. Or how about in Mickey's Christmas Carol, where he was the ghost of Christmas Future, aka the Grim fucking Reaper. Seriously, just try to watch this scene and tell me he shouldn't be on this list.
Why, yours, Ebenezer. The richest man in the cemetery. Please.
I still have problems watching that without shitting myself. Now, if that's not enough to convince you, consider this. Pete was the first ever Disney villain.
Without him, we wouldn't have any of the greats. Evil Queen? No. Captain Hook? Nyet. Maleficent? 9. Chernabog, aka the fucking devil? E-A. He may not seem like much, but every single villain on and off this list owe their entire existence to this stupid, fat asshole.
And those were the top 10 underappreciated Disney villains. While they're certainly not as high tier as the others, they're still some of the best villains that film has to offer. This is the Necro Critic saying, when you wish upon a star,
The darkness will find you.
my name, you see, for my special touch. To the gentlemen, I'm misfortune. To the ladies, I'm surprise. But call me by any name, anyway, it's all the same. I'm the fly in your suit, I'm the pedal in your shoe, I'm the pea beneath your bed, I'm the bump on every head, I'm the peel on which you slip, I'm the pin in every head, I'm the thorn in your side, makes you wriggle and ride. And it's so easy when you're evil. This is the life you see, the devil tips his hat to me. I do it all because I'm evil.